In this video, I'm going to show you how we get such a nice clean finish on the neckline and the armscye so everything is enclosed. So at this point, you should have your neckline completely sewn and it's all top stitched. And I'm working on just the bra separate for this example, but this applies to the tankini and the dress as well. All three of these tops, these garments, use this method. It's commonly called the burrito method. And it's just a way to get a nice clean finish on armscye. And you might see this method on something like a sleeveless dress or a sleeveless top or something, where the neckline and the sleeves or the armscye are finished in a really nice clean finish. This is a good technique to know and apply it to all different sorts of garments. So we've got our front and backs of the bra sewn at the neckline. I didn't put the elastic in this one just because I'm just doing this as an example for you guys. So when you're sewing yours, you might have a little bit more gathering, but that's the only difference that you're gonna see. So what we're gonna do is, you can see how the armscye are not sewn here. So I've got my front, back, right side, wrong side. We're gonna take the opposite end on one side and just fold it to the middle, like so. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate out this front, or the main from the lining, and we're gonna wrap it around the opposite side we sewed so we can get the right sides together. So here I have the right side of the bra, and this is the right side of the bra main. So we're just going to wrap it around, and I like to start at the shoulder seams. And I like to clip instead of pin, it's a little bit easier. And then I'm just gonna continue. So I'm just pulling the lining over so I can see how that looks right there. So here is the bra lining, here is the bra main, and these are the armscye on the same side, and I've just separated them and I've wrapped them around the opposite side that we had rolled. So I want to match up these right sides. So we always want to sew the right sides together. So I'm just kind of like pushing the rolled up side out of the way, out of the clipped part, because I want to make sure that I'm not going to be sewing through that. I just want to sew through the two pieces and not what's inside of there, the sandwich part, the burrito part, if you will. So I'm gonna do that again. So how I have that rolled up, I'm just going to split it and like wrap that around. So I got the right sides together. I'm just gonna pin that, or actually I'm clipping. Clipping is a lot easier rather than pinning for this instance. Okay, so what you're gonna end up at is something that looks like that. So I've got our burrito, so you can feel like the opposite side is all folded up. I'm gonna take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to use my 3/8 seam allowance and sew from one end of armscye all the way to the other. And then I'm going to apply my elastic for the armscye. This is a 1/4 inch rubber elastic. You can use 3/8 and there is enough seam allowance here. I think pulling this through is easier with a 1/4 inch, but you can absolutely do it with 3/8 inch. It will just be a little bit tougher because this is the smallest part and you have to pull everything through. So once I have this sewn, I'm going to use a 3-step zigzag stitch to apply the elastic, and then I'll come back and show you how we undo this. So as I'm sewing this armscye here and I come to the most narrow part, I'm gonna make sure, just feel it with my hand and go slowly, that I'm only sewing through these 2 layers and not anything that's rolled up. So I'm just gonna go slow and push things aside as I need to. And I'm just using a 3/8 seam allowance. All right, I've got that armscye sewn and I've got the elastic sewn on, and I did want to point out one thing. Start and stop your elastic 3/8 to a 1/2 inch away from the end of of your the armscye. This way, when you go to sew the front to the back, you won't have a lump there right under your arm. It will be real uncomfortable. So you can see how the elastic doesn't go all the way to the end. So, okay, so now we're going to pull the inside out, and you have to go slowly. You might have some pop stitches, but you know, a couple here and there should be fine. It just depends on the elastic width will make it tricky or not, the heft of your fabric if you're working with something pretty hefty. Well, I'm gonna have to re-sew that. I popped some stitches, it's all right. All right, so I did pop some top stitching stitches, but I'll have to go back and fix that. We've got this side done. We've got it sewn together, you can see, and I got the elastic in there. And I had a couple pop stitches. I went ahead and went in and fixed those real quick. It actually, at the beginning of this video, I suggested to have the neckline top stitched. This actually will be easier if you don't do the top stitching of the neckline until you're done with, basically do it as a finishing step. So I should have realized that beforehand. All right, let's do the second armscye. So we're just going to, again, roll up the opposite side, tuck it up in there, and we're going to take the side that we're sewing, this armscye right here, and we're gonna wrap it around. Keep putting the front side, the right sides together. I like to start at the shoulder seam, like so. Going to do the rest now. You can see that. Just gonna keep this middle part tucked up as much as I can. Keep it out of the way. Okay, now let's do the back. So keep that back part wrapped up. Then we're going to take the right side, the lining, there we go. So there we've got our remaining armscye all clipped together. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to use 3/8 seam allowance, just like on the other side, straight stitch that, and then I will go in with a 3-step zigzag and put in my elastic. So here we have the second armscye all sewn, and you can see I've got the elastic stitched on. And remember, we are only doing the elastic here, if you can, if that'll focus, there we go. About a 1/2 inch to 3/8 inch from the end on each end of the armscye. So now we get to do the fun part of pulling this through. Okay, if you have any pop stitches at this point, go ahead and fix them before we sew up the side seams. So now that both armscyes are sewn together and enclosed, we're ready to sew the side seams. And to do this, we're just going to match up our main front to back and lining front to back at the side seams. Just like so. So when you come to where the join for the lining and the bra here at the end of the armscye, I like to stagger my seam allowances. So the seam allowance for the lining, I want to go one way and the underside to go the opposite. just to make that join smoother and won't be bulky, because that's also where we stopped our stitching for the elastic. So I'm gonna do that on both sides. Like so. Okay, so here's our lining, here is our main, these are the side seams, and now I'm just gonna take this to my sewing machine. You can use a straight stitch if you want. If you use a straight stitch, you probably should use a lightning stitch, which will allow this area to stretch. I'm just gonna start at one end and end at the other on each side. So now we have our side seams sewn and we're ready to put the finishing touches on your tankini or dress or bra, whichever one you're doing. So now you can go in and top stitch around your armscyes and your neckline and add your elastic at the bottom part here. If you're doing, well, any of them, you'll add the elastic. And now we're done. We have gotten our armscyes all completely finished up using the burrito method.